January 5, 2022, 89 days until April 4th, the most important election in Denver's history, and the people that are ignoring the signs and ignoring the bullshit that comes out of these people's mouths, especially the red-lipped pig, Kelly Brough, Bro, uh, Brough, I don't know. I've never heard anybody say her last name. Is that amazing? That is amazing. And I don't listen to her stuff. I don't go to her stuff. But they sure go to my stuff. And when they go to my stuff, and they could tell all their people, especially if they say it when there's a microphone, don't click on Giavanni's stuff, whatever you do. Oh, the fact that they don't Google search any of his stuff. It's a trap. It's a web. It's going to suck you in and take everything you got digitally. If you're a democracy slut, if you're an Ian Tafoya, if you're a Leslie Herod, if you're a Lisa Calderon and Ian Tafoya. Lisa went to go run Candy City Bacchus. She was the chief of staff for a person that is a openly. She was elected because she was a first woman lesbian communist. And it's funny because she talks about the 5 generations and all that. Don't mean shit, man. You can't take we're 5 generations. Well, what does that mean? Especially in the digital world. What have they done? She's throwing around 5 generations. So what happens when you throw around 5 generations in this and you don't know the laws, and you get guys like me that are talking about the Spear Amendment, but that don't come out of not one single candidate. And I'm not cussing. I'm not doing none of that. I prefer not to cuss. I drop a few F-bombs. I think I have a mild form of Tourette's, but it's also called chronic ADHD. And I've had it my whole life. That's why I could use handlers. You give me 100 handlers, I'll keep them busy, keeping me busy, on time, on track. When I'm mayor, I'm not going to be blowing off F-bombs on TV. I know how to not do that. When I throw an F-bomb, when I'm in public, it's planned. Because what happens when you throw an F-bomb, you get those people that he said the word fuck. Oh my God, the world's ending. I gotta go wash my ears out with soap, that bastard. Oh, but you just cussed. I don't care. Oh God, fuck this guy. 2 hours later, the person's at home. All of a sudden, jams his toe into the door jamb, and he yells, "Holy fuck!" I've heard him. At church, I've heard people cuss, man. That's why I don't go to church. Well, I take that back. I go to the round church. The round church is your mind. That way the devil can't corner you. And you got devils, you got all kinds of stuff out there living in the different dimensions of time that we can't see, that some people can. You know how you're looking off and you're just looking, all of a sudden you see something move and you're like, well, I know I saw something move. You caught another dimension of time. So I know all about time dimensions, and now we move into voice dimensions, where layers and layers of voices over the years that these people have been talking about. For instance, Kelly comes out saying, let's build a better future together. Okay? I've been saying that since 2015. Well, actually 2014. When I ran for governor, and I look at if you look at the fees I paid, the late fees, and I leave it up there, because how many times, I mean, think about it, folks. Who's that fucking stupid to miss that many times? I'm ADHD, but I get warnings from these people. But what I do is I file on the very same day, and every time I try to file on that day, you look at the way things didn't go through, my password expired, something. And see, I don't know if this went on with everybody else or just me. I know with the e-sign verification system that Denver don't know, that they're not using for this election, because it was corrupt. And I had to sue the clerk and recorder in 2019 to fight our right to petition. And in court, this was beautiful. In court, okay, I have to make sure when I'm indexing, I'm in the best of most official place you can be. And we were the courthouse, the courtroom. So that's double wham. And second, I know how voice indexing worked. Even back then, in 2019, it was really kicking. And so I knew, and I wrote content on who I thought was going to show up in the courtroom. I was right. 100% exact people that showed up. And so what happened is, as soon as they walked into that courtroom, okay, and all the city attorneys and everybody in the courtroom, including the judge, everybody that had their cell phone on, all the apps that we have on our phone, because we're in a court of law, they're indexing, they're listening, everything. There's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is. I suggest people to leave their phones outside in their car. But when you do that, remember, and if your phone's on or if you go dark, you shut it off because you're doing something, your voice can be picked up on your person that you're doing it with, or a stranger that's happening to be by and hearing you talk. Your voice gets picked up on it, folks. It's called voice indexing. And the reason why you don't hear it is because Colorado Sun, the Denver Post, ABC, CBS, NBC, Fox 31, they're all democracy sluts. And I say that not lightly. I mean, I don't even know these people. And I like watching their host, and even their host. They're the ones that get judged the most, folks. When the social credit system scores and rankings, if you understand what China's doing, but see, we don't do China. We just have them make all our shit. And if China wanted to turn into democratic capitalist, they would own the world. And they wouldn't even have to shoot a fucking bullet. Start paying their people $30 an hour. Do just what America is doing. Flip it on them. And guess what? All of our prices go up 100%. And then choke us all out. Because you need that cheap labor that all these big 501(c)(3)s are all fighting about, but they're all getting donations. Ugh. See, we've reached a time now where on the internet, in the mortal world, God gave man free will. Do whatever the fuck we want. Anything. And those who judges will be judged, and those that don't judge will be judged, and everybody judged on the day we die, according to Christian and other religious beliefs. And when I think about God, and I think about prayer, and I think about all these things that matter, but when you think about the power of prayer, you can sing the songs of you can sing the lyrics of a song. See how I said that backwards? If you don't put no life, no feeling in the song, then you're just singing the words, like when most people sing the Pledge of Allegiance, especially young kids. Oh, they're hitting the notes, they're doing, but there's no feeling. It's just someone doing it, and then everybody goes, yeah. And so what happens is then now artificial intelligence will take that crowd, and no matter what, if that person can't sing, like that's what's going to happen next. They're going to go, well, Johnny, he can't sing, but he wants to sing, and he's gray, and he wants to sing at the Star Spangled Banner at the Super Bowl. But Johnny can't sing. I know, but it's not fair. That's not fair. We need it's inequity. Inequity. See all those words, and then you see those people that put his, her, they are next to their names. They have no fucking clue that they're sealing up their social credit system And their scores, their rankings. Go to social credit system scores and rankings.com or just Google search China social credit system. It's real, folks. And Denver has been behind the eight ball for 12 fucking years. And I've been trying to tell everybody, and they all, oh, that guy's crazy. Call me names. Oh, you hear what that guy did? Yeah, did you hear what I did? You guys are about to get flushed. And all you people, Kelly, Brough, Leslie Harrod, a woman that's been indexed as a woman with no allegiance to anybody but her white. I'm thinking about Kelly Brough, and all the conversations in regards to, oh, we got to have a first woman. Well, what about the 25-year record murder rate? What about all the laws, the criminal reform that these fuckers have passed in the House, and it's made everything worse and made now kids now doing crimes. Are you gonna believe what you see and what you hear in all the records? Or are you gonna believe what I said? The first white woman? No, no, no. We got the first Latina woman, Debbie Ortega. Oh, Deborah. Oh, I know her. I saw her at a event on Colorado and 7th Avenue, I think, next to Snooze. Yeah, where Giavanni squared off with Hancock in a secret get meet and greet. Nobody knew except the people that showed up, and it was all the people that mattered. And they saw me twist fucking Hancock up, twist him. Hancock told me right in front of everybody, "That's a good one, Giovanni." When I told him to write me a check for $500,000, when he said, because he had $1 million war chest, and they all Denver Decides. That's denvergov.org. Look at them. They have Denver Decides, and they work with all the other organizations that made Denver first time in history, man. Not have a Denver mayoral debate. That conversation hasn't even hit these dumb fuckers yet. And I don't care, man. I got nothing to lose. I got nothing to take, and I'm the perfect guy for the job because all these people got a lot more to fucking lose and start over like I had to many fucking times because of bad people. Not being able to, especially in Denver. I've been here 17 years. I moved here in 2006. At the beginning of, like, almost 2005, because we almost got killed in a hurricane. The shutters, when I put them on, we were supposed to put them on, and then the condos will come by in Florida, will come by and they check them. Well, I called them and I said, hey, I think these bolts on this bracket's backwards. And he said, yeah, we got a couple that we're working on right now. We don't know how that happened and why we haven't found out about it sooner. They never showed up. So as the hurricane went at 145 miles an hour with 180 gust, sustained 145, gust 180. How I know this? I had my transistor radio on. And I had my children inside the bathroom with the mattresses, and I had a tow rope that I tied everything down to the plumbing because we had I should have fucking left. But I managed to get through all those hurricanes from 2002 and to when we moved 2006. And you look at those hurricane seasons, I was there. My daughter was born in Miami. We traveled up and down the coast to find a better place to live. Because the crime was out of control, everything's out of control. But as long as we can party, no one really cared. I cared. But what you're looking at here, folks, I'll get into it short. The shutters fell off when it hit Jensen Beach. Went over Jensen Beach, and when it hit Jensen Beach, so all the lights went out. And then we heard that noise. Oh, I'll never forget that fucking noise. I saw the house, and I don't know if anybody can fathom this, but I saw the house, the condo, expand and contract. Yes. Unbelievable. So anyways, I had to go outside because the hurricane sheared when it came back, so that the the back of the hurricane was hitting, coming in from the west. It sheared because our condo was facing the south, and it sheared them 8 by 10 panels, um, like it was butter, man. And all of a sudden, I heard bam, 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 bam. It was the shutter. It was caught underneath the railing or the handrails, and it was slamming on the window. The loudest thing I heard, my two kids, 6 and 4, came out and said, "Papa, what's that noise? I don't want to die. I don't want to die." I'm like, "Oh my God." Got them back in there. I took the tow rope off, and the mother of my kid. I think this is what broke her. She's never the same. She never the same, man. That's why I forgive her for everything she did to me, because I think that hurricane killed her, because she was never the same, man. And what happened is I had to open up that Arcadia window and go outside to secure those pounding panels. And I had to time it in a way to where it went in between. After the big gust and goes back to the sustained wind, that's when I opened up the door and went outside. And it was like I went out and jumped out a fucking car at 145 miles an hour. You know how you see a fly? When you have a fly in your car? Yeah, I haven't had a fly in my car in a while, but I was in a friend's car a couple years ago, and he had a fly in his car. He goes, "What's this?" And he rolled his window down. The fly was buzzing. He got real close to the window, and shoop, got sucked out. So I don't know if it's because the car's moving and the wind, because there's not a hurricane, but this was different because I wasn't moving, but I left the moving where it was still there to 145 to 185 miles. Some people don't even believe that, but the neighbors that were there, the way I showed the diagrams to some law enforcement people, and they were blown away. But the only reason why I knew how to do that is because I used to ride my motorcycle at red line, and it didn't matter. When there was nobody around, I'm taking that, I'm redlining that bitch. So I've been on motorcycles as fast as 250 miles an hour, folks. And so the majority of them have been 150 to 180 miles an hour. No, I don't drive like that. Nobody's around. That's when you're praying that there's not a gopher or a lizard or some kind of a alligator or something like that. I had a really badass motorcycle, 300 horsepower, folks. I was giving those crotch rocket guys a run for their money. 6-speed Baker, ceramic lined exhaust. I had a pressure relief valve for the heads because there was so much pressure. It was a 134 motor, I think it was, and a Pro Street. And that bike would top out at 230 miles an hour, fast. Fastest belt-driven machine you've ever been on. And boy, did I get hassled by cops, man. Fuck. I don't ride bikes no more, man. Because they're just that way, man. That's why cops are getting everything they deserve right now. Because that hard ass, that attitude, that dysfunctional team of control freaks. You got to be a control freak to put your citizens in jail, man. Okay. If you look at every police officer, well, not every. I don't know. I'd like to put I got a program that I can analyze the Phoenix, or excuse me, I would do Phoenix too, but the Denver Police Department. And I'll tell you, the Denver Police Department has they have way more honest people in their police force than any law enforcement I've ever investigated. And I investigate a lot of law enforcement, folks. So you don't hear that because we don't tell that. And the only reason why I'm saying it now is to show you guys how my authority works based off my voice. So if these people have events and they don't invite me, I'm going to show up anyways, and I'm going to talk. So by the time they kick me out of there, because that's what they do, they're cowards. And so I leave because I'm not a coward, but it's better. Retrieval is the better part of valor. And in the digital world, they have no clue that their voices are ticking, ticking, ticking. And when they talk, 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 or they send videos, or they text messages, emails, it all gets indexed, especially after January 1. Now it's even tighter. And you look at this. 2023, Kelly Brough came out and said, let's build a better future together. I've been saying that since 2011, actually, when I ran for mayor. I'm going to build Denver better because of the Denver family court system, and the judges can do whatever they want to people they don't like, or they're biased, and you got lawyers that are all represent the one party and they won't go against that, so they all live a simulated world of bullshit in the family courts. And you know who suffers? The children. All because mom and dad can't get their shit together, or they work too hard and they think they got to get their kids the Xboxes and all this shit that destroyed them anyways. See, I didn't have all that stuff. We didn't have Xbox or nothing. I had a pool table, an Olympic pool table, because my dad was a professional pool player. I didn't know he was a professional pool player until I got older. My brother kept telling me, but I never asked my dad because I got scared because I saw what professional pool player. My dad was a rack boy for Minnesota Fats back in New York. My dad traveled up and down. He was a Golden Glove boxer. He was a badass. My dad was badass, and I seen all his trophies and all his stuff, and I go, Dad, what, you got articles? Yeah, they didn't do all that back in there in the day. You know, we just college and them. They were too worried about just the establishment of America and the colleges. And so when you're thinking about how old my dad is, I mean, he was born in 1930. I love that guy, man. But what I don't love is how Kelly comes out, and her and her people. And this is how you know she would be a bad choice for Denver. And when she gets picked, because I believe she's already been picked. Because if you do PDF files, you know what a PDF file? If a city and county puts you on their website, or then how they put you on the website, they did one good thing, is they left everything in the order of which they all signed up. Because that's the important. Then what happens is Wikipedia comes in, those dirty, stinking democracy sluts. I've been indexing them for 10 years. I've been battling them, changing. Go to the Wikipedia and look up the 2023 Denver Municipal Elections. They just added the date. I've been fighting it. And so what happened is I told them, I'm suing you guys when I'm mayor. We're going to come in and we're going to open up your pockets and we're going to take all your fucking money that has to do with Denver. And we're going to go to court and we're going to sue you. And then I'm going to ban you because I know how to do that. I don't need anybody help to show me how to do that. I know how to do that. See, I'm going to go into the technology department of the city and county of Denver. Okay? I'm going to look at all their hardware. I'm going to look at all their software. Excuse me. I'm going to look at all their wiring. I'm going to find out their excuse me, their Wi-Fi. I'm going to find out all their wiring in the drop ceilings, all the wiring on the floors if they have it. I'm going to find it all. And we're going to fix it. And then we're going to take some of the people that are in that technology and we're going to fire them. Those are people getting fired, man. Top administrators, gone. Why? Because they're all fucks, man. When they got fined by Scott Cardenas, $4 million by Oracle because he didn't read the terms and conditions, and they're paying that guy big dollars. You know, and then you think about Kelly, she made $474,000 a year at Metro Chamber of Commerce. That's a pig with red lips, folks. Because that's how she did it. That's how she does it. If anybody knows Kelly, and you look at her lips and her smile and all that, it worked for her. And men would just gaga over her, man. I saw it in 2011 when I met her with that Mayor Vidal. Great dressers, nice jewelry. And I'm thinking to myself, I've been to a lot of Chamber of Commerce, but these people are sporting big dollar clothes, big dollar jewelry, big dollar cars. And I was like, I don't get it. And then I heard Vidal talk. By the time I got done with him, he walked away with his manhood tucked between his legs, snailing off, leaving a snail trail. I was like, hey, dude, you're leaving a trail. He just kept walking. That was the best you fucking people had? Vidal? Mayor Vidal? Fuck. I did a one-on-one with him. Not impressed. And then Kelly walks up. I didn't hear her last name. She just said, oh, this is Kelly. Hi, I'm Kelly. Gang. Welcome to the gang. Welcome to the gang. And I felt like I was in a high-pressured timeshare party. You know, have you ever been to a timeshare when you're trying to buy a timeshare or you get hooked, swoggled to go to these timeshares and these investment opportunities? These guys, their dressers good, things are moving, people are clapping to get the next people in line so that Kelly can get her $474,000. More than Barack Obama, by the way. That pissed me off. I like Barack Obama. Just as a human. I don't know about his politics, or I don't get into that with him because I don't do federal. I only did it just to do some indexing on Donald Trump. And he's out. He's fading away because he's still singing the same song and he didn't stick to his art of the deal. He spent more time trying to defend himself, and we had more of our government trying to destroy him, and they were all identified. Not just by us, but by China, by Russia, by other adversaries, by other allies. And they're all sitting back like Americans are doing, okay? Going, what the fuck is going on with America? Can these people be trusted? Can Joe Biden, and they see him making the gaffes and doing all that shit, are they going, what if that fucking dude wakes up and decides to nuke everybody? Can he do that? And the other thing is, didn't the United States forefathers have a plan so that when you had a president that appeared to be going rogue, but you could stop him? There's no oh, we're gonna go nuclear option. See, they use all these fucking words, and they gotta all be in on it then, right? So they're all in bed with China. Because if NBA's in bed with China, but the NBA, you gotta think about everything when it comes to companies. Religion is out of the picture. Politics should be out of the picture, but they used it enough to get everybody brainwashed. Even the NFL, all of them. Because their main commitment is their shareholders. They have to. By law, they have to, man. So when there's a market that, you see, we're just bullshitting everybody about this, blaming China for all this human rights violations and all this shit. And they got bitchin' buildings we can't go see. Who fucking knows, man? But if they really wanted to fuck the world up, they could turn into democratic capitalists. Go look up that. I'm like I'm independent. I'm non-political. But if I was to pick a government, it would be a democratic capitalist. Because you're making money like a capitalist, but you got the democratic social programs in line for those that just don't want to fucking work. That's their right. Someone's got to pay for them or they're going to turn criminal. And so we have to be one step ahead of them flipping that switch to criminal or getting a job somewhere because they're just not into school. And what we're doing is, when you think about all of our trades, they're trying to suck them dry too. And see, the unions are so embedded with the conversations that are going down that they're going to be the next ones where people are going to start saying, look, man, you guys are taking all my dollars, all these fees. I get home, I got fucking $10 to go buy 1 gallon of gas. You know, in the Bible, in times, it was saying bread was going to be $5 and out of control, everything. And we're a fucking digital freight train with no way back. And that's the whole federal government. Because it's a big fucking ship and it steers from the back. All their equipment, all their hardware, and you look at their, when they pull up and they got these old fucking machines, like, oh man, who buys your hardware? What? Oh, but they got a clock. That shit's over, man. All that weapons and all that shit, man. I mean, we need to prepare for the enemy we don't see. We got to worry about where those weapons are that went from Afghanistan. We got to worry about all those people that came in across the border that we all believe is, we're helping them. And when you got Hancock and all these other people, they're all in on it. I mean, I don't know other way to think about it. Hancock doesn't even want to clean the goose shit out of our park. Then you got all these dog parks that are all dogs are shitting and people are walking and taking all that stuff into their house. They're playing on the goose poop and the dogs are playing. Go look up goose poop. Look what's in it. How do I know this? Unbelievably, of course. I was a part of a class action suit in Florida. We lived at an apartment when we first got there that was inundated by goose shit everywhere, man. You could smell it. I never seen it. It's going to get worse in Denver because the populations are growing, but we don't see that because we're too busy trying to manipulate Denver citizens into being a partisanship government for 60 years, folks. It's been indexed. Denver was indexed, and I know because I did it. That's my job. I know you people don't think I got a job or I don't do anything, but it's right in front of you. So when Kelly, I've been talking about building a better future. I own futuredenver.com. And what you don't see is you don't see my content. Here's Denver. Look at Denver. Imagining a Denver of the future, 2016. I bought my website on January 1. And if you think these people don't follow me and shadow me and try to figure out a way to destroy me, go ahead, man. But see, once they start talking, I start chalking. You know what chalking is? When you're playing pool, are you going to stop talking or start chalking? You're going to chalk your stick before you break, before you make your next shot. I was a carom champion in my school. Have you ever played carom? My dad taught me how to play pool. My dad was the fucking best man in the world, man. God, I miss him so much. That's why I'm believing there's a God, so I can see him again and tell him just how much I loved him and how much I really cared about him taking care of me and coming to my rescue with some pretty bad fucking people, man. And then the FBI stepped in and they fucked my life up, man. But I'm still here. I'm still alive. I battled Karen Hubler and Monica Jackson, and they filed a paper which nobody wants to fucking. That's why there's artificial intelligence, and I don't care what happens to me, folks. I'd rather die for something than die for nothing.